All right, guys, let's start with a little prayer because it's important to do this because we want to get off of this planet, the prison planet that we're on. Again, definitions, and this is what angers me, and how people used to win debates against people who actually held the truth. And it is by changing the definitions or by they start talking about something that the other person doesn't know, and they say, oh, you see, now you're discredited because you don't understand this one definition. So I love you if you're tall. I love you if you're small. I love you if you're in between. If you live on the surface of the earth or below. If you live in the deep oceans or above the earth in our skies or way, way beyond in a different place. I love you. And the reason why I say this is because some of us would like more than 0.000000001% to make it to heaven. And heaven is a machine. And as I said before, the thing that you don't want to understand is heaven is a reality created to please the soul that goes there. Now, if you're a psychopath and you manage to get through the portal, your reality is going to look like hell, but you're going to be happy there because you're a psychopath. And if you get through and you are a good person, your reality is going to look like heaven. It's going to be beautiful, beautiful gardens, beautiful everything. So we're put on this earth to learn our lessons, but we have the power to change everything right now. There's always periods in our history where we have all the technology needed to revolutionize and change everything about our earth. We can make the tiger vegetarian. We can make the circle of life. Remember, that's what they call it. The circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's really the circle of death. That's what it is. You live, you die, you come back. You live, you die, you come back. You live, you die, you come back. There was a time when the heaven machine was active and the regulations, the way to get to heaven were less stringent. And so more people would go, you live, you go to heaven. You live, you go to heaven. You live poorly, but and then you come back. It was like that. But then people realize that it's so much more fun for them to be the rulers of existence and be the gods of existence for all time. And so they shut off the heaven machine or made the entrance to the other world so difficult that now it's all about you live, you die, you come back. You live, you die, you come back. The past, the present, and the future are all connected. Time doesn't exist because everything happens all at once. The present affects the present, but the future and the past. The future affects the past and the present. Like everything is connected. The past affects the present and the future. Everything that happens. So you wonder, well, why hasn't somebody gone back in time and deleted or gotten rid of the Holocaust? Well, because we need something in every part of our reality, present, past, and future, to remind us of what not to do. So if you get rid of the Holocaust, then you have no benchmark to tell people, no, don't do this. Don't be a Nazi. That's why you should never dilute the Nazi word. But were the Nazis the way that they are because they wanted to be? Or because some people are coming out with, I heard a recent story, somebody saying, well, the Nazis were very bad people, but the reason they went after the Jews and wanted to kill all the Jews was because there was a prediction, right? And the problem with precognition and the seeing the future is you only see a version of the future based on certain elements of the present, which means that that crazy future or bad or evil future that you see may never come to pass, or it may come to pass in a different way. So what happens is somebody, it could have been somebody from the breakaway species, or it could have been something else, went to Hitler and told him a story about the future and said, possibly, Netanyahu is going to annex the Palestinians in the future. He's going to do atrocities to the Palestinians. Do you want to stop that future from happening? It could lead to the genocide of the Palestinians. So here's a spaceship, reverse engineer some technology and become the leaders of the world so that that would never happen. And what happens when humans get told a story? They don't make the right conclusions. They're always black and white. They're not very bright. So obviously a psychopath, because the psychopaths are always been in power. That's why we have Disney. We have Disney to make us feel, in Hollywood, make us feel better about the fact that the psychopaths are always in control, and they will always be in control. So that's why, unless you forgive the psychopaths and give them a chance and forgive them for their crimes, you can never have UAP disclosure, UFO disclosure, and all that stuff. But anyway, back to the story of the Nazis. The Nazis, obviously psychopaths, especially Hitler, he goes, well, the problem is the Jews could do something horrible like Netanyahu has done to the Palestinians in future. So know what we'll do? We'll round them up and we'll kill all of them. Again, evil begets evil. You may have good intentions, like there's a bunch of things that started off with good intentions, and then the psychopaths, the people that can only see black and white, they don't see colors, they don't see shades of gray. They go, okay, here's the problem, here's the solution. And the drastic solution always ends to what? War. And so the Nazis used reverse engineer technology. Again, this is a hypothetical. Don't quote me on this. This is a recent thing that I heard on a show. And I was like, well, maybe I can tell a story that might help people understand what that could be. And so somebody like Hitler rounded his group of psychotic people to eliminate the Jews because maybe they saw a version of the future of Netanyahu where he completely not just annexed the land, but genocided all of the Palestinians. And to stop Netanyahu in the future, the Nazis thought, well, you know what? We'll just round up all the Jews and kill them so that the version of the future will never happen. And as we have seen, it hasn't happened. So I don't know. The problem is, as I always say, is be careful. Be careful who you believe. Be careful what you do. If God came down today and said, Marco Reviews, I'm going to give you 51% of my power, what will you do? I'll be like, you know what? You keep it, man. You keep it, man. Just make a reality on earth, a stable reality on earth that is close to heaven, as close as heaven on earth as possible, where we could all just survive and be happy, and for it to be stable. That's what I would tell God. Because I have no interest in controlling other people. I have no interest in it. And that's why I could potentially be given that power. But the psychotic people, the ones who always end up getting that power, may it be bestowed on them by God or not, always squander it. And that's why we get the Nazis. And boys and girls, the Nazis are still here. They've just been rebranded. They're seen as something else. But they're always here. And the psychotic people who always end up with the power, the influence and all that stuff, always control everything. Which is why we need to get rid of fossil fuel. It fuels wars. That's what it does. Let's get some clean air and water, guys. Be real progressives. Take care. Bye-bye.